Hello, lovely people, and welcome back to another video. As you can see, I have a new lighting setup here. It does look different. I bought a ring light kit from Best Buy. It was only like $30, and I'm really impressed with how it's working so far. And it even came with a little remote that can have me turn on and turn off the video feature on my phone without me having to physically go up and grab it. So I'm super excited about that and to be filming in this awesome new format. I am getting a lapel mic soon, so I'm sorry that my video quality overall just hasn't transitioned all at once with a mic and new lights, but here we are. Because I went to the Best Buy in person and they only had the ring light kit and they didn't have the lapel mic that I wanted, so rip. But anyway, in today's video, I'm going to pay tribute to my business fraternity that I am currently in, Delta Sigma Pi. I'm wearing my letters, I'm wearing my badge, and today I'm just going to talk about my journey into the fraternity, why I love it, and how it has changed me for the better, definitely for the better. This week has been National Ritual Week, and I decided to make this video as a wrap up to National Ritual Week. Basically, the purpose of this week is to celebrate our ritual. So let's get started with the DSP inspired makeup look. First, I'm going to start off with primer and talk to you a little bit about the fraternity. So if you don't know, Delta Sigma Pi is a professional business fraternity that was founded at the New York School of Commerce, Accounts, and Finance in November 7th of 1907 by four men, Alfred Moisello, Henry Albert Tinkin, Harold Valentine Jacobs, and Alexander Mackey. And the Marshall University chapter has been at Marshall University since April 20th of 2001. So our chapter is actually turning 20 years old this year, which is pretty cool. So we are a professional fraternity. We are more focused on developing business leaders of the future, but just because we are professional, we still have a social aspect of it. We do encourage brotherhood and getting together and just bonding as a group. So now that I've got the intro of the fraternity out of the way and foundation on my face, I will tell you how I got started with my Delta Sigma Pi journey while I blend out this foundation. So I was a freshman at Marshall, and at that point I had already joined student government, and I thought that I should join something business related to develop a better business network, because I had been in a business related organization in high school, but they did not have a college chapter of that organization at my university. So I was like, well, I need to find something different. And one day I was walking to class and there were these people sitting at a table with this big stop sign. It was literally a sign cut in the shape of an octagon attached to the end of a PVC pipe, and it said "Stop Business Majors," like this handmade sign. And it was like, oh, the dean wants me to stop here or something. I don't know. And so I went up to the table and they explained that they were this business fraternity, gave me the spiel that I kind of just gave you guys about how we're a professional fraternity, so we don't party or anything and all of that good stuff, because my mom did not want me to join a social sorority when I came to college. So that was definitely for the partying reason, even though sororities technically aren't allowed to party. But my mom just didn't want me to join like a social group club. So I had to clarify it before I had to take complete interest in the organization that it was not a social club. So with that being said, I took some pamphlets and I went back to my dorm, and I was talking to my roommate at the time, who is also a business major, and I said, hey, like, I saw this table in our business building today, and it's this business fraternity, and I think I'm gonna try to join them. And she said, oh, I actually I'm thinking about joining a business fraternity too. And I looked at her and I said, what is it? Like, what is the name of it? And she said, oh, it's called Delta Sigma Pi. So My roommate and I actually joined Delta Sigma Pi at the same time, my freshman year roommate. We were in the same pledge class, we got initiated at the same time, and we're both still in the fraternity today. She's the president and I am the brotherhood chair. Last semester and the semester before, I was senior vice president, but people just always thought that was so hilarious how we knew each other and were roommates before we even joined the fraternity. Like, I cannot tell you the amount of times we get the "and they were roommates" Vine reference hit at us. Besides my roommate, going in, I honestly did not know anybody else in the fraternity. And I made a lot of friends in my pledge class, and they are really the people that I mainly know in the that I'm mainly close with in the fraternity to this day. Not saying that when new pledges come in that I don't bond with them or anything, but I would say like those people that were in my pledge class, like when you go through a pledge class with a group of people, those are the people you honestly become closest with, just simply because of how much time you have to spend together during the pledging process. Like, so I was initiated in November of 2018. So I got initiated right in my fall semester, my freshman year, right off the bat, which for some people, they either don't have the opportunity to do that or they just don't do that. And a lot of times those people have said when they graduate that they wish they would have joined when they were freshmen at Marshall, because that way they would have had more time in the fraternity. And that's like kind of something that they regret, is not being able to spend more time in the fraternity. And I'm just glad to say that I will spend all 4 years of my college experience in DSP, and I won't really have that regret when I graduate. I mean, people have varying situations of where they can't join when they are freshmen, but like I said, I'm just glad that I did join when I had the opportunity to, because DSP has just changed my life and my college experience in so many ways. I've met so many amazing people along the way that I would not take back meeting. I'm glad that I have the connections that I do, and I hope to gain just more and more connections as I go on through life and my professional career. Okay, now we're gonna start on the eye look. So Delta Sigma Pi's colors are royal purple and old gold. I think the purple may be a little too plummish, but that's okay. I think it goes with the old gold, because that gold, when I looked at it, I said, you know, when somebody says old gold, that's definitely what I would think of, is that gold right there, that palette. I'm gonna take this color over here and put it all over the lid as like a base shade for the look and to kind of set the concealer. So I have done a lot of different roles in the fraternity before and after I officially joined. So I forget what the official title was, but I think it was like I was in charge of activities for my pledge class. That was my first taste of leadership experience that I got to have in DSP, and that was a fun role. After that, I didn't do anything the semester after I had been initiated, because that was my first semester of doing pep band, and I wasn't sure how I was going to handle being in pep band and the fraternity at the time and student government. So I didn't do anything that semester. First full year I was in the fraternity, that following fall semester after I was initiated, I became the College of Business Relations chair, which meant my job was to recruit staff members to join the fraternity as faculty initiates. I really like this position because at the time we obviously could do in-person activities, and I got to host a faculty pizza luncheon, which was good because that was a good way I could network with other professors, and In fact, one of my professors that I have class with right now, I recruited him to join the fraternity, so that's interesting. That was probably one of my favorite positions to be in because it was a good way for me to network with the different professors that we have at Marshall. And I did successfully recruit 3 faculty, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it kind of is. I mean, Marshall is a bigger school for the state of West Virginia, but it's not super huge. I am going to dip in this purple shade right here and just put it in my crease. I'm just basically doing a simple kind of smokier cut crease with the purple and the gold. So my second officer role in DSP was Senior Vice President. Senior Vice President is the one that is in charge of recruiting new collegiate members. So I went from recruiting staff to recruiting students. So I was familiar with how to recruit people, but still it was honestly a whole different ballgame. And I just felt a lot of pressure to recruit as many people as possible. And then, of course, the pandemic hit. And that just threw a whole nother curveball into the recruiting game, because it's like, well, now what do we do? Because we can't have anything in person when typically we would table in person in our business building. There were a lot of challenges that I had to overcome when I was senior vice president, but overall I'm happy with the job that I did do, mainly because I kind of changed up the way we recruited a little bit by having a theme to our recruitment. In the spring semester, I did a Shark Tank theme, more like, because Shark Tank, the TV show, is about business sharks. So I thought that was a really cute kind of spring, summertime theme to tie into the fraternity. And we, as one of the recruitment events, we even had like a mock Shark Tank, and I think a lot of people thought that was fun. And we had former brothers come in and judge. The second semester I was senior vice president, we did a Disney theme. So I had seen another chapter of Delta Sigma Pi do this, and I can't for the life of me, I wish I remembered which chapter did it so I could give them credit. But we, instead of Disney Plus, we called it DSP Plus. So it kind of implied that members are getting more than just an organization when they joined. And I thought that was a really fun idea too that we did. We had Disney themed trivia instead of just like normal business trivia as one of the events. I gave out Disney themed prizes as rewards of that trivia game. And I have a pair of silver Minnie Mouse ears from the one time I went to Disneyland, and I wore those to all of the events, and that made things, even though they were virtual, at least for me, feel a little more whimsical. And I remember my freshman year roommate, one time she had taken 2 sticky notes instead of wearing her mouse ears, because she had mouse ears, but she was somewhere else and she didn't have them with her. So she took 2 sticky notes and attached them to the top of her head with circles on them as her Disney wear, and it was so funny. That's just one of the many fun memories I have with my brothers. Is whether it be inside or outside of fraternity events, I have a lot of good memories with the people in that fraternity that I would not want to take away for 1 second. Over the course of my time in the fraternity, I've gotten close to so many people that, like, even when I joined the fraternity, I maybe didn't think I would like them or something like that, and now I am really close to them. Not only do I have my former roommate in DSP, but one of my other good friend, one of the other people that I consider to be one of my good friends, is also been in the business fraternity. When we first joined and we were in the pledge class, we weren't really that close, just because we hadn't really gotten the chance to talk to each other. And then one spring semester, we finally had a class together, And since we knew each other from being in the fraternity, we decided to partner up for a group project. And ever since we were in that group project together, we have been pretty close. In fact, when we have plans, we haven't done it yet, but we're going to. She moved to a new apartment recently, and I'm going to go over to her apartment and we're going to make Hello Kitty pizza that we saw on TikTok. And where I crochet, I'm going to crochet her some cute pastel coasters for her apartment because she doesn't have coasters right now. Okay, now we're at the fun part. We're gonna add the gold to our lids. And it's not even the collegiate brothers that I'm close to. I've gotten really close to our regional vice president, especially through my job as senior vice president, because I love our regional vice president. He always wants to be in the loop and up to date of what our chapter of our fraternity is doing. And I also like the fact that he is an alumni of our particular chapter, and I feel like he understands our issues better when we are having issues with recruiting. It's nice to know somebody, especially on a more national level, because a lot of times it feels like that people don't really acknowledge West Virginia or know where Marshall University is or know that West Virginia is even a state sometimes. So it's nice to have somebody on that national level who does recognize us and appreciates us and what we do. He's just one of those people who is so passionate about DSP. I don't think I've ever seen anybody more passionate about Delta Sigma Pi than him. He could talk for hours and days and weeks about how much he loves the fraternity and fraternity matters and everything. He takes dedication to the fraternity to the next level. Another person I would have to acknowledge for being just so awesome to our fraternity is our fraternity advisor. He works in the Dean's Suite, so he's a great resource, not only to help us spread the word about Delta Sigma Pi to Marshall students, but just professionally as well. He is honestly one of the sweetest people I've ever met, especially this semester where we've been remote. I don't know what our fraternity, our chapter of our fraternity would have done without him, because he just has so many awesome connections to us to the dean, and he can reach out to so many students, and he has brought so many excellent fraternal candidates to our chapter just because of his ability to outreach. So as we're starting to wrap up the look here with blush and highlight and the finishing touches, I think I should talk about how one of the most important things, is it worth it? After all of the lessons I've learned with Delta Sigma Pi, the easy ones, the hard ones, and everything else in between, all of the hours of dedication I've given to the organization, all of the times I've been worried, I've stayed up at night worried about my position or what I'm gonna do in that position, my role in the organization. Am I doing enough? I would have to say DSP is 100% worth it. It has taught me so many lessons in leadership development, given me so many networking opportunities that I wouldn't have if I was not in my chapter of DSP. I've met so many amazing people through Delta Sigma Pi, and if I didn't join, I wouldn't have those opportunities. One of the phrases that they use a lot of times as like a hashtag or something is higher standard. And I feel like Delta Sigma Pi has definitely taken my professional game, I guess you could call it, to a higher standard. Just the amount of things that I've learned in DSP that I've been able to transfer to so many different organizations, like work, my work life, student government classes. I just can't emphasize enough how much I love my fraternity and my chapter and my brothers. Without them, my college experience would have been so much more different. And if I would have joined my chapter at a different time, like my sophomore year or even later, I definitely would have regretted it, because there is no replacement for the time you lose or the time you don't get to have from not doing something earlier. Now that mascara is done, I'm just going to do my lipstick really quick and I'll come back to you guys and wrap up the video. Alright, so this is the look. I'm about to set it with the Milani Make Dewy setting spray. I heard that this was really good, a really good drugstore setting spray for dry skin, which is what I do have. So I'm just gonna and then let it dry. I don't have a sassy fan to help it dry. I think it did make my skin a little glossy looking, you know, like little shiny in like a good way, you know. All right, so here is the final look. I know it's a little extreme and crazy as far as the eye look goes, even though I was doing this inspired by a professional fraternity, but honestly, as much as I love DSP, I decided to let my creativity flourish with this look. And when I saw those colors that I did in that palette, I immediately thought of this style of look of just kind of like a smoky cut crease-ish action moment. Maybe this will be my next formal look when we're allowed to have spring formal in person again. Who knows? If you liked me sharing my Delta Sigma Pi journey, I recommend you give this video a thumbs up. And if you want to start your own Delta Sigma Pi journey and you are a student in your College of Business, then I would recommend seeking out your local Delta Sigma Pi chapter and inquiring how to join, because it is honestly a life-changing experience that I would not want to take back. I swear they're not paying me to say this. This is just out of my own personal experience and my own personal recommendation. If you want to see more videos like this, I come out with new videos typically every Friday. This one is coming out on a Saturday, but I just had a little bit of a crazy week, so I apologize for that. And if you want to follow my Twitter, in the description below, it's Laura's_hooks. If you want to see all of the crazy things I tweet about or just updates about the YouTube channel, you can. And I will see you all in the next one. Stay safe and stay lovely. Bye!